rise. We're here today because we believe in liberation. We're here because we believe that culture is the new currency. The fight we have is not about Mussolini, it's not about dictatorship. It's about the spirit of Mussolini. And that spirit has become the African spirit in all African nations. It's about corruption, it's about self. It's about neglecting our people, it's about dividing ourselves. It's about using our resources meant for the greater good for ourselves and oppressing our people. That is the spirit we need to fight. And we cannot fight that spirit, but we need to replace that spirit with what I call the new African liberation movement. Culture is a new currency. What do we believe in? Who are we? What are our values? What are our principles? The culture of Museveni goes beyond his 37-year rule in Uganda. He became president when I was 4 years old. Amazing, right?
Amazing, yeah.
Crazy. But every story you hear in Uganda with a 37-year-old dictator, you can get that same story in Sierra Leone, and we don't have anyone who's been president for even 15 years. And it goes beyond dictatorship. We're fighting a culture. That's the culture of Museveni. His influence on the continent, his principles, his values have been a seed of bad leadership on our continent. We need to rise as Africans, and we need to replace that culture with the Bobby Wine culture. That's a culture of hope. It is not about Bobby Wine as a person, but it's about the culture of standing up. It's about the culture of saying that I have to give it up all to fight for what is right. It's about a culture that I have to stand for what is right when no one is watching. It's about a culture of unity. It's about a culture of believing in Uganda, believing in an African. It's about a culture of hope. It's about a culture of ensuring that Ugandans can live in Uganda and fulfill their potentials. That is the culture we need. We say culture is a new currency. So we are not fighting, we are not here to say we are fighting Museveni, that we want to fight him with the guns. But yes, if he came by the guns, he can be fought by the guns. But let me tell you this. In our generation, our gun is different. We are living in the AI generation. Culture is a currency. Our culture is our bullet, it's our weapon. We are going to use to liberate our nation, Uganda. I call it our nation because I'm an African. And I believe that every African shares the Ugandan story. We say culture is a new currency. And that is what we need to be, that is what we need to do. We are using this culture not only to fight and defeat Museveni, but we want to use this culture to buy him out. We want to use this culture to defeat him. We want to use this culture to bring down the long stance of dictatorship, because we believe that it has affected our continent a lot. Again, we ask, what are we using? It's about the emotions. For 37 years, don't we have brave, intelligent, and strong men from Uganda? For 37 years, we've had people in different forms and shapes coming like Bobby Wine, right? For 37 years. But this is it. It's a marathon and not a sprint. We need to endure, and we need to often tell ourselves that if we have to take the spirit, it starts with self. We need a personal approach to ensure that we win, and we need a personal approach. Our leader, our president, Bobby Wine, is seated here today because he took a personal journey. So you want to ask yourself for a moment, why are you part of the National Unity Platform? Are you part of this platform because you want to follow Bobby Wine? Are you part of this platform because you only believe in his leadership? What is a pain to you? Are you part of this platform because you think that enough should be enough?
Yeah.
Are you part of this platform to say, even if I wake up tomorrow and Bobby Wine says that I'm no longer going to lead this movement, we are going to continue with this fight. It should be personal. That is the spirit we need. Because the more we have that individual spirit and we come together as a collective, that is how we'll win. Culture is a new currency. It's powerful. What stories are we telling our kids? What are we teaching them? What art are we using to build our communities? How are we using this art to ensure that we come together as a community? How do we develop ourselves? Do we care about ourselves? Do we love ourselves? A house divided cannot stand. How united are we in our unity of the National Unity Platform? How united are we? Are we interested in getting out Museveni because we want to be the next generation of corrupt African leaders? Is that our intent? We have to keep asking ourselves now and then. But we need to be intentional. And we need to be resolute. We need to be radical in our approaches to ensuring that we build a generation of people who are fearless. But not only people who are fearless, but people who are determined to win. People who are determined to succeed. And with culture as a currency, we can and we will buy out Museveni. Thank you.
It is in my language, tribe, which is Baoulé. I am Dapriska and I am from Côte d'Ivoire, the most hospitable country in the world. So I am a teacher and I'm also a singer. I have noticed that my students were not motivated about learning English. So I decided to use my artistry, which is music, to teach my students. And I've conducted this research work and I've saw that it works. It works. They started loving English. They started liking this language. And I also use music to promote peace and non-violence in my community. So you can understand that music or art play a very significant role in the building of the community. I am a Mandela Washington Fellow. And as part of my professional development experience, I am working with the Teaching Artists Institute. At the Teaching Artists Institute, I am learning and understanding about the importance of African arts and also the preservation of languages that are disappearing in Africa. So, I am working now on the project, which is 2 books. Me and Kim, we are working on this project. It's a book for students from elementary school. These books will be written in 4 languages. Baoulé, which is the language of my tribe in Côte d'Ivoire. Also English, and also Swahili, Uganda. And because I'm also bilingual, I speak French, I speak English, I speak my mother tongue. So this book will also be written in French for our students, for our children. So, I take this opportunity to invite you on an event, a community event that will take place on the 27th of August. I will be performing this song that you just heard, or what they were, and I will also cook a special meal for my country, which we call sauce juble with futu. This is pounded banana, pounded yam with okra, dried okra soup. So you are all invited because this day will be the release of the 2 books and the day where I will perform this song, or what they were, which means it will save you. So thank you for having me here today. I'm learning a lot here in the United States during this program with the Teaching Artists Institute. Thank you again.
So the reason that I invited Pressica to be here with us today is because it's important to know that we're still living our real lives as we go on this journey towards liberation. And language is so important. Are you writing this story? Even this story. We were so inspired when we saw that there was a documentary about the man and his music. That is the culture. But each one of you are part of this movement. Are you writing your story right now, today? The fact that you were in this room, in Uganda or in English, in Richiga. What are the languages of Uganda? These are the tools of your liberation. Take a stand and say that we will define us for us. The U.S. is not going to save you. The West is not going to save you. The ICC is not going to save you. Culture is the new currency, and through our culture, we will save ourselves. Thank you again. My name is Kim Poole.